Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the first episode of the new series I'm calling this Story Arc series. Which you know, the name kind of tells you what it's about. We're talking about anime series arcs. And of course we're going to do a deep dive into every arc that you want to see. And well, I put a poll up and you guys wanted to see a Naruto arc first. But in the future, if you want to see a specific arc, just let me know in the comments down below. But for now, we're going to go over Naruto Shippuden's Pain Invasion arc. And of course that means if you have not seen the stuff that leads up to this, you probably want to know about that first. This is a review and deep dive after all. And finally, if you do like this type of video, I would appreciate all the love and support, especially if you hit that like button. Now then, without further ado, let's talk about Naruto's Pain Invasion arc. Now before we get into the Pain Invasion arc, also known as the Two Saviors arc, which we'll talk about later, there's a couple of important events that lead up to this altercation. The first being is that Jiraiya is currently on a mission to investigate, if not stop, Pain. Now the character that we know as Pain is the leader of the Akatsuki. At least that's what we know as a viewer for now. Again, the lead up to the Pain Invasion arc starts with the fight between Pain and Jiraiya. If you're a fan of Naruto, then you know that Jiraiya is currently training Naruto. Jiraiya is at the point that he realizes that he is not the savior of the world. So a lot of times he tries to help younger shinobi become stronger to probably change the world in the future. And well, we find out that Jiraiya and Pain seemingly know one another. But of course, between good guy and bad guy, this starts a brawl. And unfortunately for us viewers, Jiraiya ends up losing his life. Now it's obvious that this is going to be an emotional arc for Naruto because the closest thing he has to family is Jiraiya. So if you're Naruto and you find out the closest person to you is killed and it's by the people that are chasing after you, you better get ready for some smoke. And that's exactly what Naruto does when he goes to train to learn how to use Sage Mode. It's also shown to us that Jiraiya was able to use Sage Mode, but he was never able to perfect it. So before the invasion actually starts, Naruto decides to go learn that first before he can help. On the other side, Pain's choice is to go find the nine-tailed fox. And of course, everyone knows that he's somewhere chilling inside the Hidden Leaf Village. So if the other bum Akatsuki members can't get the work done, he's gonna have to do it himself. And that's the summary and begins the Pain Invasion arc. At this point, you probably know that Pain is the big baddie of this arc. Pain himself actually does not exist. As a viewer, Pain is basically a stage name for who he really is. Before Jiraiya's death, we get some foreshadowing of kids he used to train. Two of those kids were named Yahiko and Nagato. Yahiko was unfortunately killed due to battle. But the thing is, Yahiko didn't go out like some punk, he was actually a hero to his friends. Because of the sad situation, Nagato unlocked his new optical prowess, which is the Rinnegan. Now the Rinnegan itself is very hard to explain. Of the three optical abilities you see within Naruto, the Rinnegan is probably the best. However, Nagato was the one that awakened it, not Yahiko. On top of that, we see every single Pain, including the summonings, have a Rinnegan. This kind of gives you a hint of what's happening, but we'll talk about that a bit later. Now then, to start off this arc, it is of course the Pain Invasion arc. So that means that it is time for Pain to invade the Hidden Leaf. And he does this pretty smoothly. Some of these Pains have multiple abilities to help them scout or get information. So instead of running in there like a fool just trying to fight every single shinobi you see, it's best to try to get information from the shadows. And well, it's easy to find a victim pretty quick inside the Hidden Leaf. But while Pain is able to get easy victims, there's other issues happening within the Hidden Leaf. The first being is that there's too many casualties for the healers to help. Even though the only enemies invading the Hidden Leaf are the Pains and Kanan, all these other Hidden Leaf shinobi are getting absolutely obliterated. Therefore, the healers are not really able to keep up with the amount of casualties. Now there's no way to tell what rank these shinobi actually are. They could be Chunin to Jonin level, but one Akatsuki member is probably stronger than one Kage level shinobi. And I mean, these Pains aren't getting hurt by anyone, so it really doesn't matter what you say or do. All the medical ninja need to get to healing ASAP. On the other hand, there are some people within the Hidden Leaf that believe giving away Naruto is for the best. We call these people selfish and also for the streets. These older people don't see Naruto as a human being compared to being a vessel for the nine-tailed fox. So they believe calling Naruto back ASAP and getting him out of here is the best way to save their lives. Now I don't need to tell you how snake that is, but that's what they believe in. And some of these elderly people do have the power, including Danzo. Danzo does not play a huge part within this arc, but he will in the near future. But anyway, you see that there's some internal conflict just past Pain himself. But now the parts you've been waiting for are the fights between Pain and other high elite shinobi. Now to touch on the most interesting fights, when Iruka Sensei is about to get blown back, we have Kakashi step in. At this time, Kakashi is currently a Jonin, but he is a special Jonin. I mean, he held this title since he was like 12, so he's stronger than most. The problem here is Kakashi has to fight against two Pains at the same time, and one of the Pains is technically the strongest amongst the six. Luckily enough, Kakashi did get some help from the Akamichi family. Realistically, Choji and his father probably would have gotten pierced like a donkey. But this here makes it a little bit more even when it's 3 against 2. Now Pain's main gameplay is to use his almighty abilities. Using his almighty ability, he's able to pull and push things from an epicenter he chooses. And well, what's a better strategy than to use your pull ability to pull him into a giant sword? I mean, this is a pretty simple fight, but at least it works for his game plan. And while they are able to defeat one of the Pains, unfortunately, Kakashi loses his life. Another huge fight we have is Konohamaru. Konohamaru at this point is still a very weak shinobi. However, when he sees his sensei about to get annihilated, he can't help but jump in. The Pain's ability he's fighting against is pretty crazy. This Pain's ability will take the soul of whoever he's grabbing through their tongue. It's like an instant kill basically, and Konohamaru is about to be the next one up. However, good news, if you're a Boruto fan, you probably know this, Konohamaru is kind of raw. And well, he does end up winning his fight as stinky as it felt. And realistically, as a viewer, all these fights were good. We even had a fight with Torture Sensei and another one of the Pain. The point being is that while these shinobi are still able to hold their own, they're still not strong enough to defeat Pain. And this leads us to the Intel Squad, who needs to figure out what the black rods on Pain does. They realize that there's a chakra source to these black rods, and using them you may be able to find the real body of Pain. And while they did find this out, it was a bit too late. Right after this amazing reveal, we have one of the biggest moments of Naruto yet. The other side Pains, including Kanan, were able to leave the village in time for Pain to use an ultimate jutsu. This almighty push is a classic from Pain that destroys the Hidden Leaf village. And I mean, this point in the series, it is devastating. Pain basically went into a whole village and destroyed it by himself. And this shows us as a viewer that the Hidden Leaf isn't very strong. And during this time of need, there was nothing else you could do but hope for the savior to come back. And of course, when you need him the most, he enters. Here comes Naruto. Now we're gonna pause here because if you made it to this point of the video, I assume you like it. And if you do, I would greatly appreciate it if you do hit that subscribe button to see more arc reviews like this. Now then, it's time to talk about the climax of this arc, Naruto versus Pain. Now that Naruto has arrived, we see that he is able to use the Sage Mode ability. However, there is a small difference between Naruto's compared to Jiraiya's. One of those being is that Naruto's is technically complete. He doesn't have those weird bumps on his face. However, Naruto cannot stay in Sage Mode for a very long time. Therefore, he has to have other shadow clones gathering Sage nature so he can use their ability. It's basically stockpiling the chakra so you don't have to do it within the fight. Now Naruto, he is probably stronger than everyone else in the Hidden Leaf village at this time. Plus, he is challenged to fight every single Pain that is still around. Compared to characters such as Konohamaru, who had to fight 1, or Kakashi, who had help to fight 2. It's just you and the frogs, buddy, and that's really it. So while I play this fight in the background, we should talk about what you're seeing. Naruto's having to fight against every single Pain, including the abilities they can use simultaneously. Plus, it's much harder for Naruto since they all have a Rinnegan. With the Rinnegan's ability, they're able to see each other's perspective. So Naruto doesn't have to worry about just one of them having their eyes on him, but every one of them at the same time. Realistically speaking, this is technically a very hard fight, but Naruto is still goated. I mean, the show is named after him, and he's able to chop them down one by one, overpowering them pretty quickly. Another issue that appears is that the Pains are able to regenerate using another one of the Path's abilities. So Naruto does have his work cut out for him. However, he does have some toes to help him throughout the way. Mind you, while Naruto is risking his life to save the village, the others choose not to partake in this fight. I'm sure there's got to be someone else that can throw a fist or two, but whatever. Instead, the Intel Squad decides to do some more digging on the Pains. We come to find out that the bodies of the Pains were people that were perceived as dead. The newest Pain that has these strong summoning jutsus was recently brought in and looks just like the girl that they brought in. This notion tells us that every Pain that has the Rinnegan isn't actually a true living being. Instead, these are just corpses that are reanimated to fight. And as we mentioned earlier within the video, the person that actually opened the Rinnegan is not currently here. To our dismay, we get a small glimpse of where Kanan went because she's not a part of the fight. And of course, she's seemingly talking to someone that has a darkish red colored hair. And if their assumptions are correct, then that means that technically that person is Pain. And of course, the body that Naruto is currently fighting is just the corpse of another person named Yahiko. I know it sounds crazy, I know, but at the end of the day, Naruto technically did lose this fight. And not technically because he was overpowered or ran out of energy, it's just too much to bear to try to protect others. And during this time when Naruto was pinned down, they have a long talk no jutsu session. But this is also the time we get to see our queen enter the fray. Hinata is the brave soul willing to try to save Naruto the best she can. Now we all know for a fact that Hinata is not about to stop Pain, but this is an emotional moment because she's still willing to try. I mean, Naruto and Hinata go far back to the point that he was still getting bullied. And honestly, he still is now, but I'm talking about when he was much, much younger. And all the times that Naruto was willing to stand up and try to save or help Hinata, she realized he was doing that. And no matter how scary and gloom this situation may be, Hinata's still willing to try to save Naruto. And she really wasn't trying to throw fists with Pain compared to just freeing Naruto if she could. She also gave Naruto the great confession that she loves him. Now I know all the Sakura fans are just throwing crap out the window pissed, but this was the creator's vision to have two characters not generally accepted to become one together. And once Hinata is handed a gruesome fate to the hands of Pain, it's time for Naruto to step in. Actually, I should say it's time for the Nine-Tailed Fox to step in. Once Naruto sees a terrible situation Hinata's in and she could be dead, he breaks the seal and he transforms. This time the transformation is much further along than any other we've seen so far. So now the fight changes from Pain versus Naruto to Pain versus the Nine-Tailed Fox. If you don't know, the Hidden Leaf has done their best to try to seal away Naruto's Nine-Tailed Fox. One reason is because it's probably the strongest tailed beast there is compared to the other 8. Also compared to other Jinchuriki such as Killer Bee, Naruto does not have a good relationship with the tailed fox. So therefore, if there's ever a time where the Nine-Tailed Fox can take over, then Naruto's basically out of there. Plus, the person that can seal the Nine-Tailed Fox, which is Yamato, is currently not around. So in that case, if you can't beat the Nine-Tailed Fox and Yamato's not around, you're just out of luck. So as the fight continues between Pain and the Nine-Tails, the fight kind of spirals out of control. While Yamato tries to hurry back and hopefully stop the transformation, unfortunately it's no good. Matter of fact, internally speaking, the Nine-Tailed Fox is playing tricks with Naruto's mind. He was one small strip away from being able to get out freely. But at the very last moment, an unexpected guest shows up out of nowhere. Minato, also known as the 4th Hokage, who is also known as Naruto's dad, shows up inside his head. Minato shows up not only from, destroying the world, but also trying to talk to him as a dad. Now, Minato is not alive anymore at this point. That's why Naruto was technically considered as abandoned. And it's kind of weird because majority of the series, people don't tell Naruto about his parents. Hell, majority of these characters were still around when Naruto's parents were around. But anyway, this is a great time for him to meet his dad because he was about to lose it all. And Naruto gets one of the chances he always wanted, which was to meet his father. At first, he lashes out at his dad, not necessarily angry at him, but more of how his life went because of his dad not being around. Again, if most of these adults know that Naruto's father is the 4th Hokage, why are you letting people treat him the way they do? I don't know, whatever, dude. So Naruto has a quick rush of emotions trying to explain to his dad everything he's accomplished in the past 16 years. But Minato also has a reason to be here, not just to stop Naruto. He also tries to tell Naruto the truth of what happened during his birth, explaining to Naruto that he was killed by a masked man. We've seen him throughout the series several times, but he comes off as playful. But if he was strong enough to kill the 4th Hokage and basically release the Nine-Tailed Fox, he has to have something about him. But that's for another arc, because for right now, Naruto got what he wanted. The chance to see his father, and also his father showing that he believes in Naruto. And with that, the Nine-Tailed Fox is sealed again, and it's time to get to the last fight against Naruto and Pain. Jumping back to whatever happened within Naruto's mind, Naruto emerges back with the Sage Mode already active. It's almost as if he got a full heal ready to rock Pain's world. But nonetheless, Pain has been fighting the Nine-Tails this whole time. So realistically, the chakra that was being flowed to the singular Pain is kind of wearing out. And in that case, Naruto has an advantage over Pain within this next fight. And I mean, shocker, Naruto actually wins. This is his series. But anyway, the fight ends with Naruto using the exhaustion from Pain to fire off a Rasengan. And honestly, this was probably the most boring part of the whole fight. So once it ends, Naruto does a big brain play by using the chakra rise to track where the chakra was coming from. I don't know why Naruto's doing the job that the Intel squad should have done a long time ago. But because of this technique, Naruto's able to see everything that Pain has done from the invasion as well as track Nagato. And with that, Naruto goes along his way ready to beat down some more people. Once Naruto actually finds where Nagato is hidden, they have a lot of events that happen. But the most important one is getting the backstory of Nagato. The trio grew up in an unfortunate situation because it was within the Hidden Rain village. During this time, you grow up knowing nothing but war. And because of the war, you're more likely to grow up as an orphan. Characters such as Nagato had their parents taken away from them at a very young age. And because of these traumatic events, you either have a choice to fight or to give up. We see that Nagato becomes friends eventually with Kanan and Yahiko. However, they are kids, and where do you grow up and how do you get this strength? I mean, you have to eat and someone has to feed you if you can't get it yourself. And luckily enough for them, this is where they meet the legendary three Sannin, which is Tsunade, Orochimaru, and Jiraiya. Now, Jiraiya did believe that there is a savior out there. And when he realizes that Nagato has the ability to use the Rinnegan, he believed that he could be that said savior. As I mentioned before, this is called the Pain Invasion arc, but it's also called the Two Saviors arc. So let me ask you this question. Do you believe that the two saviors are Naruto and Pain or Naruto and Nagato? Let me give you some more examples as to why both could be true. Jiraiya was able to train them up quite a bit, at least to the point that they were able to hold their own. But eventually they come across a crazy antagonist named Hanzo. Hanzo is basically a ringleader for all these wars, and really he is willing to kill if he must. That being said, when he is able to trap Kanan and use her as a hostage, Yahiko and Nagato have to make a choice. And the choice is pretty simple. If you want Kanan to be free, then kill Yahiko. He was seen as the leader of the group, and this is the best way to stop them. And of course, to point out the obvious, Yahiko looks very similar to Naruto. Hanzo probably realized that you can't have a leader so charismatic as this running around. But Yahiko made his choice to kill himself even though Nagato did not want to. This moment here shows that maybe Yahiko was a savior. I mean, Yahiko did not hesitate, and he did believe this is the best way for the other two to have a brighter future. But right after that, Nagato loses it and shows his true power. Using his Rinnegan, he was able to summon the Gedo statue. The Gedo statue, as we know it from previous arcs, is a way to hold tailed beast. But the Gedo statue can be animated and will help fight. At the sacrifice of Nagato's body, he was able to stop a lot of shinobi using the statue. Unfortunately, he was not able to kill Hanzo, who was his main prey. After this whole ordeal, he realized that he can never be a part of the Rain Village. And this is where the trademark Akatsuki symbol comes from, scratching your headband horizontally to show that you are not a part of the village anymore. And as you can assume, Nagato is really the reason that the Akatsuki started. But Nagato did not do this out of hate just to stop world war. And in that case, I should ask, is Nagato supposed to be the second savior? Either Yahiko / Pain is a savior or Nagato, but it can't be both. The reason I say that is because it's obvious through books that Naruto is supposed to be the first. So it's up to the viewer's choice who is supposed to be the second. After this interaction, Naruto finally understood why Nagato did the things he did. And instead of just wanting to kill him, he sympathized with his enemy. But then his enemy Nagato decided to do something kind of groundbreaking. Using his life as a sacrifice, Nagato was able to bring back life to everyone that he killed in the Hidden Leaf. Which is honestly kind of crazy because it kind of negated everything that just happened. You remember when Kakashi died earlier within this arc? Well, it doesn't matter because he came right back. We do see this later within Naruto called reanimation, but to be completely honest, this feels like kind of a reach. But regardless, it happens and Nagato sacrifices his life because of it. After this, Kanan is the only one left within the trio because of the events. So she decides to take Yahiko's body and Nagato's body and to leave somewhere else. You could say because of this kind of disbands the Akatsuki group as a whole. Even though we still have a few of them around, you could say the group never acted the same after Nagato's departure. And as Kanan is about to leave, she makes him some paper flowers wishing him the best in the near future. And finally, Naruto comes back to the the Hidden Leaf Village, and he is the hero that people wanted him to be. Again, Naruto has gone through a lot to get the acknowledgement that he wants. And honestly, everything he has done, he has realistically overachieved his expectations. But truthfully, he should not have expectations from other people anyway. Naruto came back to save his village even though he knows people wanted to sacrifice him. There were still people during this fight willing to not sell him out. But everything that Naruto has experienced through his journey, you're kind of surprised he never went through the Akatsuki route. He for sure could have, but he chose not to, and he is for sure the savior of the world. And that really does it for the Pain Invasion / the Two Saviors arc. Naruto is huge and we have plenty of more arcs to talk about, but I want to know what you want to see in the comments down below. And also tell me what you think about this famous arc. If you made it to the end of this video, I assume you're a big fan of shonen. Therefore, I have another shonen video for you over here. Thank y'all for watching, and until next time, take care. Peace.